Hi there, friends. I'll come in here with a quick note to let you know that the first global Product Owner Summit organized by the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is coming soon. To know more, check out the bit.ly/Product Owner 2023. That's bit.ly/Product Owner 2023. That's all one word, all lowercase. And stick around to the end of the episode to know more. But for now, on to the show. Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our TGIF and Product Owner episode this week with Gemma Murray. Hey, Gemma, welcome back.
TGIF, Vasco. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, TGIF. All right, so product owners. We talked about it already on Monday that the product owners are the Batman to our Robin, and we need to become a dynamic duo to help teams succeed. And of course, we do that by identifying what are some things we need to work with the product owners on, and also what are the great things product owners out there are already doing to use as example, inspiration for our own work with our product owners. So let's start first with the bad example. So Gemma, share with us what might have been potentially the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
Absolutely. And I think in general, this can be quite destructive for a lot of different reasons, but I'll talk through my one. And it's lack of empowerment. It's a product owner who doesn't feel comfortable or empowered to make decisions. And I feel like this can be quite destructive for different reasons. The team start to look for clarity elsewhere. So they kind of start to work outside of the team. Again, the product owner doesn't really feel like they're part of the team, or they don't act like they're part of the team. They're that little bit distance. And other people tend to fill the void. So to give you an example, there was a project I was working on where the PO's manager had a vested interest in the product that the team were developing. They were seen as a stakeholder of the kind of at sprint reviews and things like that, but they were not a member of the team. They were not the product owner. However, they started to come to more team ceremonies over time, including sprint planning, where they started to impose on the team what should be in the sprint backlog. And because they were a more senior individual in this structure that we were in, they had a lot of sway. And the team might show that they are agreeing with them, but I knew from retrospective conversations, which that person was not at, that they weren't very happy with it being imposed and things like that. The product owner just became a bit of a silent voice in the team, and I found over time that they were deferring a lot of the decision making to their manager. So even if the manager was not in the room or in the virtual room in a session, they would delay making a final decision. They'd kind of say things like, I think this might be the way to go, but I'll run it past my manager and I'll get back to you. So a lot of decisions were being deferred and delayed as a result, which has a very negative impact on the team and did not help the team with their product development at the time.
Yeah, it makes the communication slow, right? Like, because the team is blocked, they can't get their questions answered. And it might also be very confusing because that manager or that person outside the team and the product owner will not be present to explain their why and their reasoning. So the team will be confused as to why is this important. And of course, that affects the decisions the team themselves need to make, like technical decision, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I obviously started to observe this, and I was relatively new in my career as well, actually, so I kind of had to take a little bit of time to truly get the dynamics. But when I did realize I needed to step in, I was surprised to learn that the manager actually didn't want to be doing what they were doing. So there's almost an assumption bias that you have that, well, if they're doing this, it's because they're micromanaging or they want to kind of jump in and be in total control of everything and they're not giving the PO space. But in actual fact, the manager was very happy to try and let go, but they felt like what they were doing was supporting their direct report. It was supporting the product owner. They thought their behavior was well-intentioned. But when I was able to, I suppose, act as the mirror and kind of share some of the observations that I had made, they realized that they had inadvertently crept into, the exact opposite of the behaviors that they were trying to convey. So having an open conversation with them to help highlight the problem can sometimes give you surprising results. And yes, I was nervous about bringing it up. This person was senior, and yes, I was a little bit scared and apprehensive, but it really blew me away that you can't assume what the other person is thinking. You need to understand where they're coming from, and if you start from that position, can you tell me what you're thinking? Here's what I observed, but can you tell me like your perception of what I've observed?
Gather feedback, right?
Yeah,
like validate your own assumptions. And I was just thinking, one of the things that you said, which is very critical for us as Scrum Masters, is to accept and understand that one thing is the behavior people have, another thing is the consequences of that behavior, right? The behavior can be motivated by some goal that in the end is not actually what is happening. And until people know about this, they don't actually, like in this case, this manager didn't actually have the information needed to adjust their behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't. And then on the flip side of the coin, I obviously had a conversation with the product owner themselves, and they shared with me, they had a little bit of a lack of confidence because they didn't really know the product as well as the manager did. So I was able to, actually develop a one-on-one coaching relationship with them and help them with just bouncing ideas off me. Like, this is what I think we should do. And I was like, okay, you just need to remove the words think from your vocabulary, because what is the worst that can happen? We try something out, we get the feedback from our customers, and then we kind of say, oh, that didn't quite work, let's try something else. Failure is not your enemy here, just give it a go. So
especially if you give it a small commitment, which is something we've been talking about.
Yeah, like 3 sprints.
Like 3 sprints, indeed.
It's just talk to people. If there is something that's more team dynamic based and it's an individual behavior and unintended consequences, like you said, Vasco, just talk to them, be open, share with them your observations, but ask them to, as you say, challenge your assumptions. Tell them, why am I wrong? What are you intending to do here? And you'll be surprised at the answers that you get, and you'll get more confident doing it as well.
Well, that was a great story. And now we want an even greater story about a great product owner. So Gemma, share with us the best product owner that you've ever worked with. How did they work on the product owner role?
The best product owner, I'm currently working with them now. And what this person does is always asks why. And I mean that in the largest sense of the word. They came into a team that was actually, because of the pandemic, we're focusing on maintaining a product as opposed to developing a product. They were pulling, almost cherry picking the things that they wanted to do to simplify this product, as opposed to really be feature based and using customer feedback to evolve the product over time. And this product owner came in and started to get them to talk about value again, and ask them why they were doing certain things, and ask them what value was this going to add to the product. And then that person, after a couple of months, kind of backed that up with empiricism. So asking why and empiricism together, I think, is the perfect combination in any product owner, because they are looking for value all the time, which is fantastic. That's exactly what the product owner should hopefully help the team to do, and prioritizing and that kind of thing. But also going out and seeking feedback to back that up is the other part of the coin that sometimes gets a little bit overlooked, I think, in my experience. But those two together are really, really powerful. To give you an example, there was kind of a prototype way of buying branded merchandise built on the website. And this product owner, after that prototype had been live for a couple of months, went in to look at the types of data that was providing, summed it up beautifully, shared that not only with the team, but also with other stakeholders that had that were a vested interest in what the team were doing and wanted to understand why the team were doing what they were doing. And they actually pivoted as a result of that data. They thought that they were going to build something that would be developed over the next 6 months or so. But actually what they found from this data was, we can build something that's even smaller that they're actually asking for in this prototype. So the fact that he has this ability to always be looking for what the customers are saying, combining that with challenging the team on why they're doing something and looking for alternatives that are usually quicker or are better in some way, that's just been a fantastic thing to see and work with over the last 9 or so months while I've been at Moo.
Absolutely. That's a great story. I really love stories about product owners that find pivoting points. Now, that's not going to happen with every single thing, but if we think about pivoting, it's not always necessarily about, the whole solution. It can be about a small interaction, like, a flow within the application, whatever that might be. And this pivoting is really, for me at least, it's the idea of accepting that something from the outside is telling you something you didn't know but must take into account. And this ability to be humble enough to get insights from the outside, whether it's data or customer feedback or customer interviews, whatever that may be, I think that's a superpower for product owners.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And it really is, it helps bring energy to the team as well. As I mentioned, this team was absolutely keeping the lights on. Very, very important to do that in anywhere that we work or on any product that we're working in. They were maintaining this product very, very, very well and with their knowledge and expertise. But with this product owner coming in and giving that different perspective, all of a sudden they have a different energy. They're a little bit more playful. They joke with each other more. And I can't say that that's a direct correlation. Correlation does not exactly line with causation, but I think because they're having different types of conversations, they're interacting in a different way. And, they've had some new members join the team now as well. And I think all of that stuff combined, it's just been a perfect storm to help harness this new, more future focused team dynamic that they've got, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually what you just said is actually a great sign for us to look for. When teams and product owners are focused on the future, it's because they master and are confident with the present. And that's a great sign for us to look for. Also, a success sign for us as Scrum Masters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Gemma, it's been a pleasure. This week's been a blast. Lots of great ideas. We even got a new key phrase for us. Give it 3 sprints. Everybody start tweeting that, please. And of course, we're about to finish, but we don't want to go before we hear more about where people can find you and more about the work that you're doing, Gemma.
Yeah, absolutely. Like with everyone, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I'm happy to meet and be that community for anyone who wants to bounce any ideas off, like I said in an earlier podcast this week. But also moo.com, have a look at the website, only because it's one of the most colorful and well-designed websites that I've even come across. There are also a few vacancies going on. So if you're interested in what Moo do, then again, I'm happy to chat about the company as well. So please reach out. I'm available on LinkedIn, and all my details are on there.
Absolutely. And I definitely recommend Moo as a company to be a customer for. I mean, I really love the funny business cards, the Christmas cards that I print every year without fail through moo.com. So it's a great product company as well. Gemma, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thanks, Vasco, and thanks for doing this podcast. It's definitely helped me out at the start of my career as well. So this is a recommended reading. People should read and listen to the podcast.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around. This year's first global summit dedicated to the product owner role in Scrum will have some amazing keynotes and 2 tracks filled with first-hand stories and experiences for product owners to learn more about that critical Scrum role. We'll have Roman Pichler, author and product expert, who will be answering your questions and sharing the most important aspects of the product owner role. We'll also have Colleen Johnson talking about why roadmaps are probably making your life much harder than it needs to be and what to do instead. This talk was quite a success in Agile Online Summit 2022, and Colleen has learned some new tricks, tools, techniques that she will share with us when it comes to roadmaps for the product owner role. And we will also have Henrik Nyberg, author of Scrum and Kanban from the Trenches, as well as one of the creators of the Spotify model. So come in and listen to his stories. And we'll also have, of course, 2 tracks with many more sessions and even some live sessions. The 2 tracks will cover practices every product owner should know, where we'll be hosting conversations on topics that product owners need to be familiar with, like product backlog refinement, planning, and much more. The second track will be on metrics, measuring product and personal success as a product owner. As product owners, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of what are the metrics that drive success for us, and of course also for the products and businesses that we work with. And we need to continuously measure and optimize those metrics. So in this track, we'll be sharing what's working and what's not in the area of measuring success for product owners. We will also have the opportunity to network with our peers. It's a network event, of course, so get your tickets and join our Slack. Go to bit.ly/product owner 2023. That's all one word, all lowercase. As always, we will have free tickets and VIP tickets, which will give you long-term access to the content of this summit. So check them out at bit.ly/product owner 2023. All lowercase, all one word. I'll see you on the summit floor.